Hello there, good evening indeed, and many thanks for joining us on Rwanda Television News tonight. We do hope you had yourselves a fruitful week, that we are towards the end. And now, this is Rwanda Television News, and this is what makes our top stories tonight. The Commander-in-Chief of the Rwanda Defense Force, His Excellency Paul Kagame, has reminded the country's military personnel that their priority must always be to defend the country and its people, engaging in war only when necessary. Parliamentarians have started going over the proposed law on public procurement, article by article. And onto the international scene, Zimbabwe has become the first African country to approve injectable HIV prevention drug. We are glad to have your company tonight, joining you straight from the heart of Africa, Kigali. My name is Sam Kalisa. And as we kick it off, the Commander-in-Chief of the Rwanda Defense Force, His Excellency Paul Kagame, has reminded the country's military personnel that their priority must always be to defend the country and its people. Engaging in war only comes if necessary. The head of state made the comments as 568 officer cadets were commissioned at the Rwanda Military Academy in Gako. Sergeant Hodes starts us off tonight with this report.
24 of those who were commissioned on Friday trained abroad in the UK, the US, Russia, Kenya, Qatar, Italy and Sri Lanka, and all 568 were awarded the rank of second lieutenant by President Paul Kagame. 475 were trained for 1 year, while 93 graduated after 4 years of both academic and military training. Addressing the newly commissioned RDF officers, His Excellency the President reminded them of their responsibilities.
The
Rwanda Defense Force and all others charged with the security of our country have the primary responsibility of protecting Rwandans, the country and all others living in it, as well as the development we are striving for and building. That is what joining this profession means. That is our starting point in understanding the responsibilities of the RDF, not that all there is for them is fighting wars. That comes after. The primary responsibility is protecting the country, protecting security. Only when those things are threatened by war do you engage, which is why I said it comes as a last resort. The President told the young soldiers that they must have discipline, otherwise all they will do will be for naught. It doesn't matter how much knowledge you have, how willing you may be. Regardless of anything else you may possess, nothing substantial or long-term can be achieved if the proper integrity is not observed among individuals and the collective. You must have the proper behavior, and that goes with discipline. You will meet many temptations both in the line of duty and in other settings, but to lead a good life, perform your duties well, and for the country to get what it expects from you, you must have discipline and behave appropriately. Of the 568 officers, 53 are female. In addition to their military training, they also undertook studies in social sciences, medicine and mechanical engineering.
Still on this pass out, we also took the time to speak to some of the newly commissioned RDF officers, and this is what they had to say.
They should have much expectation from me because I have got the package, the whole package of a Rwanda military member should have. That's why they should expect more from me. I have the package and I'm ready to serve the country as it should be.
I was awarded as the best performing cadet of this year. So in general, I'm happy because I had been waiting for this day for so long. So what I can tell or just say to my fellow youth who want to join RDF is that RDF military career is a noble career. So there is nothing special, there is nothing worth it. Just more than giving whatever you have, more than sacrificing whatever you have just for the sake of the nation.
And all we can add is that congratulations to all the 568 newly commissioned RDF officers. And as we move ahead to other matters, parliamentarians have started going over the proposed law on public procurement article by article. It comes as at a time when entrepreneurs are calling for more changes on the public procurement law. Nuria Tagasaro filed this report.
Some entrepreneurs says that public procurement laws should be changed because they provide for loopholes for corruption. We will look at the markets that are given online. Sometimes there are mistakes, and if you have written to the tender to be corrected and tells you that there is no problem, when it comes time to distribute markets, you will find someone who has corrected one of your colleagues in competition. Another key issue of the law is that the lowest prices, and you find that a person has been given a market that does not correspond to its value, which will result in the market being lost or the employees not being paid. Another point is that if you do not comply as an entrepreneur, you will be punished, but the supplier will not be punished because when you go to report, you will lose market. Apollinaire Mupinganyi, Executive Director of Transparency International Rwanda, says that the laws governing the public procurement should be updated, based primarily on heavy penalties handed out to entrepreneurs. The entrepreneurs were saying that although we believe in our institutions, there are those who would come and punish you and impose heavy fines on you. And you will say that instead of giving me punishments, I will never fight again. Even though Nobo told us among the RPPA staff, it was discussed. And we expect that in the update of this law, the RPPA would retain the responsibility for managing the market and developing market laws. But trade concerns will be delegated to another special independent council. The Director General for Rwanda Public Procurement Authority, Joyezu Ingeneye, says that all the problems identified by different authorities in the procurement law are being updated to keep up with the time. There was something they used to say about the fact that there were things requested in the book that show how the competition is done. When a person competes, it appears that there are things that did not go well. And they say that when they start a market in the origins, it is accepted and a person gets a market. So it came out that there were people who claimed that it was something important and ended up saying that it will be useless. And we saw that there was another who refused to come to the market because they saw that it was impossible. We have seen documents that have nothing to do with the market, all of which were inserted to close corruption loopholes. This Friday, parliamentarians received the report of the budget of National Resources Commission and began going over the law governing public procurement article by article. When you look at the people who produce the books, you sometimes wonder where they received the information since there is a gap in the regulations. For example, if you give a market and say that the winner will have a turnover of billion, while we know that we are coming out of COVID-19, even if it is 3 years in the future, where do you think that money will come from? And has shown that you have the ability shows that you have employees, maybe you fulfilled everything. The 172 articles in this draft legislation that regulates public procurement are the ones that the Parliament is voting on one at a time, and work will continue next week until the entire law is voted on. Nuria Tagasaro, RTV News.
Imbuto Foundation says that the Art Rwanda Ubuhanzi competition has assisted the youth who participated in it since it was first launched to establish 500 jobs and earn around 200 million Rwandan francs. This is the second time that the competition is being held. Nuriat continues.
At Rwanda Ubuhanzi, a competition for young people with different talents are competing in the competition called At Rwanda Ubuhanzi. The competition is being organized for the second time. The Imbuto Foundation and its partners, which include the United Nations Development Programme and the Ministry of Youth. The goal of this competition is to encourage the abilities of young people. These are the doors of opportunity that are accessible to the participants of this competition in order for them to win and progress from one level to another. It gives me the motivation to work more since I know that others have won as well, which means I will have to put in more efforts to pass again. I am really excited to have won, and it will motivate me to work harder till I achieve the level I want to. It will show you that there is a different level at which people see you than you thought, and to open your eyes to the fact that the wide market in Rwanda is what I'm thinking about, not just where I started. This competition started in 2019. The winners of that time have spent 3 years developing on the opportunities they were given. Ndarhutse Merci, a comedian, is one of them. At Rwanda advises you to achieve the best use of your talent, but it's up to you to put that advice into actions so that it has become real. People who attend this competition should put more effort, characterized by discipline and patience. Murenzi Joel, who is in charge the coordinator of the youth empowerment programs at Imbuto that organizes this competition, says the winners of this competition in the beginning have now come a long way to develop. They build the houses just like fashion models, and they start companies that compete in markets and make income. We counted over 500 jobs that they were to provide to young people on a permanent basis, as well as others that were not permanent. And we were able to gain more than 300 million. We are proud of what they have achieved. But the art industry requires you to work every day to keep creating things that people love and buy. This time around, 300 youth took part in the competition. Those selected today, Friday, are to proceed the final. Nuria Tagasaru, RwandaTV News.
Rwanda is in preparations to adopt the fifth generation mobile network to drive its digital economy as part of the newly released broadband policy over the next 5 years. Adam Squizera with the report.
8 years ago, Rwanda joined the use of the fourth generation mobile internet. This 4G has brought many changes in the lives of the internet users, as it is also linked to the growth of development in terms of the use of technology in various fields including business, agriculture, health and education. Some internet users stated different benefits from utilizing this 4G mobile internet, while also highlighting some of the issues they have encountered in its use.
4G iradufasha cyane iyo
4G is very useful when operating something that requires internet, since it is fast, comparing to others like 2G or 3G. Meanwhile, it is the work.
yihutisha akazi mu bijyanye na internet.
Iyo uri ku accessinga nka online classes ku masomo nyine kwigira kuri murandasi.
It helps us to access online classes and various activities on internet, except the challenge we still face is the high price of 4G. This fourth generation of the mobile internet, known as 4G, has helped to also attract internet service investors. Some internet service providers around the country are demonstrating the importance of the internet generation's upgrade in the country's growth by connecting it to the finest service delivery.
Murabizi twagiye dutangira kuri 3G, 4G.
As you know, we started using 3G, 4G, and we keep advancing forward to 5G. And as the internet generation upgrades, goes with the development of service delivery. This internet has contributed a lot in the country's development as well. This broadband policy also states that everything feasible will be done to make the internet accessible to the public. Muvunyi Victor, Senior Technician for Emerging Technologies at the Ministry of ICT and Innovation, reiterated on the key rationale for this policy, which is intended to enable public access to this fifth generation mobile network 5G.
The building stone is the policy itself. So the broadband policy stipulates and emphasizes on these upcoming technologies and how to make them affordable. And here we're talking more of really empowering our private sector to be able to invest in our environment, in our ecosystem, by leveraging, by leveling the playing rules into our ecosystem, so that whoever wants really can invest into this fifth generation and even other emerging technologies.
Figures revealed that 84% of the Rwandans use mobile phones, while internet users. 2021 statistics shows that 31%, equivalently to 3.5 million people, use the internet, same to 4G mobile network coverage, which reached to 97%. Currently, the 5th generation mobile network, known as 5G, has reached 5 African countries, including Kenya in the East African region. Adam Squizera, RTV News.
Rwandans who write articles on the Wikipedia website say that they intend to correct what has become a common misconception that many articles about Rwanda on this website are written by foreigners.
Wikipedia website has one of the largest collections of free information and images available to the public, but there aren't many articles about Rwanda or written by Rwandans or in Kinyarwanda on this website.
Here, who will be joining us to bridge this gap. And another challenge is about language barrier. Some of the communities that they don't get access of information on Wikipedia due to the language barrier. So it seems like we need more youth here in Rwanda to be an editors on Wikipedia, and we need more content in Kinyarwanda so that we can have information in our local languages for everyone, everybody here in Rwanda to have access on the free information.
Ndahiro Derek, the director of the Wikimedia user group in Rwanda, knows that they are planning a campaign to increase the number of Rwandan authors on this website. There are some who read those articles, but they don't really know where to customize those information due to the way it was written by authors who don't have any idea on Rwanda. So here is to remind you that we have that capability on Wikipedia by writing accurate information, and we are ready for that. Esther Kunda, Director General of Innovation and Emerging Technology at the Ministry of Technology and Innovation, urged the youth and technology experts to develop these websites.
As a continent and countries that don't have as much information available online for everyone to know what is actually going on in our own countries, what are the interesting knowledge that is being created in our own countries. If it's not available, who else is creating it? And I can commend all of you guys for doing this. And I hope within this 2-day conference, you're going to discuss and you're going to let us know how can we support.
Currently, the Wikipedia website is written at least in 300 languages, including Kinyarwanda, whereas now more than 5,000 articles have been written in Kinyarwanda. Adam Squizera, RTV News.
And from this, we come to the end of our tonight's edition. On behalf of the entire news production and the technical team that made it happen, many thanks for being with us on this edition of Rwanda Television News. Up until next time, my name is Sam Kalisa. Stay safe and have a good weekend.